Hello friends, welcome to Thermomixing Adventures. Lisa here. Today I'm going to take some fresh ginger, well actually when I say fresh, it's been sitting around for a while, but you know what I mean, out of the garden, dried, sitting around, washed, and turn it into powder because I want to make a recipe and I need powder. I do have ginger paste in the fridge. I've got some frozen. The kids make ginger cordial with it, but powder is really handy when you're trying to do things like dry spice mixes. And so that's what I want to do today, is actually make some powder to go on the rack. A bit similar to what I did with the turmeric a little while ago, if you remember that. So into the Thermomix, just so that you can reference it. I've just cut up what I had that looked decent. I cut off the bits that weren't nice and made sure there wasn't any dirt on it. So it's been washed, it's dried. It was done. That was done when it came up from around the place. If you don't grow ginger, give it a go. It's one of those things that is relatively easy, I find, in our climate here in southeast Queensland to grow. Put it in a pot and just then occasionally water it. Not all the time. It doesn't like to be wet. It'll just rot. But you can take a piece of store-bought ginger. The little pointing out bits on it. Let me grab one that's still in the container. These bits here are what will grow the greens up out of them. So if you plant that, that'll grow. So there we go. So let's put this in. It's 200 grams, just so you've got a reference point. Lid on. Now we're going to chop. So bring up manual mode. You can do this on whatever Thermomix you've got. Think of it like a coleslaw. Okay, so about 2 seconds, speed 5, check the texture, do it again. So let's do that, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do next. So speed 5, I love the shortcut keys. 2 seconds, because you don't want to go too far. I reckon we'll need to scrape the sides and do it again, but let's have a look, see what it looks like. If you're watching on, have you done your own dehydrated turmeric, ginger, dry spices before? I'd love to know. So you can see relatively chopped, but a few bits unchopped. So I don't think I need to scrape it, but I do need to do another chop. So we'll go speed 5 again. So 4 plus 1, and then 2 seconds. Press play, let that go. If you over chop this, it's not terrible. It's not like a coleslaw that if you over chop it, you get mush. Mush will still dehydrate in the oven or in a dehydrator. I've loaned my dehydrator out, so mine's going in the oven today. Take a couple of hours at about 70 degrees to actually make this all dry out. And I just want to look at this texture, see what it's like. Oh, that's perfect. I don't want it any finer because I don't want mush, but I want the big bits to be chopped down. Oh, actually, that's relatively good. There are some slightly bigger bits in there, so I might actually do that one last time. Hopefully it won't take it too far. Now you might be wondering, Lisa, why don't you just go like speed 5 and press play? When you do that, the amount of times I have people call me and go, Lisa, I've just mushed my coleslaw, because we're so accustomed to the Thermomix stopping for us. So, and I've done it. Not just those of you who have called me and said, how do I fix my coleslaw? But I've done it. So I like to put the actual timer on to count down in seconds so that 2 seconds is done, because it's interesting how quickly yet slowly those times can go, right? So if I'm running around the kitchen getting things done, which I do, you know, those 2 seconds could be 10 seconds, and there it is now, a puree. In this case, puree is not terrible. I can go put it on the tray, dehydrate it, and it'll be okay. Blitz it back up once it's cool. But it could be, if it was your coleslaw's done for, right? So there you go. That's plenty good. That is what I want. I just wanted those larger chunks gone. So what I've got back here is an oven tray with some baking paper on it. I normally do put them on in my dehydrator, but not today. So on my oven tray, you just need to check your oven will go low enough. And it's going to take at least probably 2 hours, but I'll let you know a bit of a timing as I progress, because we'll come back together with a dry, clean bowl and a cool mix. This stuff will need to be cool before we blitz it down to be put in a jar. So spread it thin though, if you're following along and cooking along. Spread it thin, because if it's too thick, obviously those chunks are going to stay damp, and we don't want damp. We want it to be dry, like sawdust, by the time it comes out of the oven. So spread it around, depending on how big your tray is, depending on, you know, this is a relatively large tray. will depend on how fine you can get this, but you don't want big clumps. You don't want it sitting on top of each other. You may well find as well that after 2 hours, you just need to give it a little stir through in the oven to just allow it to kind of relocate and finish it for another hour. But I'll give you a bit of a follow-up when we come back together and this is cool out of the oven, and I'll tell you how long it took in my oven at 70 degrees. So we will see you on the other side of that. Okay, welcome back. It's come out the oven. It is cool and it looks like wood chip by now. Okay, look at this. Now, what I learnt with my turmeric one is if by some chance there is a segment of something being wet still inside, it's okay. You'll know when it goes through the Thermomix and you'll be able to put it back in the oven again on that 70 degrees again for another couple of hours and it'll dry out again, and you can even put it through the Thermomix again if you want it finer. So we're going to put this in the Thermomix now and we're going to blitz it. So I love doing it on baking paper because you can just lift it up and lift it straight in. You can recycle your baking paper as well. I am going to need a lid, so I'm just hoping one of the boys might pass me a lid over, please, from over there. And this is going to take 30 seconds. We'll stop and check, and then another 30 seconds. Typically, it will take 1 minute. So let me just make sure there is no liquid on this lid because we do not want it wet. All right, bring up our manual mode. And let's chop this. So speed 10, 30 seconds, and let's see what this is like in 30 seconds. If only I had smell-o-vision. This smells so yummy. Alrighty. Now it's going to depend, oh my goodness, look at that. It's going to depend on how much powder you do. This was 200 grams, right? So I'm curious to see what this works out to once it's dehydrated. I actually thought maybe let's just bring the scales up there. Don't look at them yet. Just give us an idea of what it comes in at. So look at this. Didn't clump together. Need a bigger funnel. That's okay. We'll make do. I'm curious to see what this weighs in at. I actually thought it would make less. So I'm excited to see how much this comes in at. Already jammed it up. There we go. Maybe the funnel is not the best idea. We'll see how we go. We will persevere for a second longer. And I do wonder if this jar is going to be big enough, but let's see. Okay, the other technique to the failing jar filling technique now is what I did, if those of you remember in the turmeric video. So what we do is we just grab some paper, make it into a cone shape, and you can use baking paper, but you can also use just your A4 paper, your printing paper. And let's see if we can shake this in. Let's see if it doesn't overflow out the top of my jar. Okay. Oh, wastage over the top. Now there is still some left in my bowl. Not too much. This is 32 grams. I reckon I'd be lucky to get another 5 grams out of what's left in here. And I have, oh, well, the spilled stuff would be accounted for, wouldn't it, in that weight? So, let's see how we go. Oh. By the way, the top of the Thermomix you can just wipe down, vacuum up, dust off. It is easily enough cleaned if you're wondering about my mess. Okay, tap this down, keeping it real, but let's see how much we get to. About 40. So for 200 grams of fresh ginger, we got about 1/5 in powder. Isn't that fascinating? So there you go. That is how you make ginger yourself. Now it's important this is kept dry. So you could put one of those little moisture absorbers in there if you got one out of another packet. You can also keep it in the fridge. It's what you tend to do with your garlic and onion powders to stop it clumping together. But it depends how quickly you're going to use this. So there you go. That is how you make, look at that, it smells amazing. I wish you could smell this space now. But that is how you make ginger powder in your Thermomix and your oven in not too much time, really. I mean, there's a lot of spare time where it's cooking away at 70 degrees and you're doing other things. And it took 2.5 hours. I stirred it and gave it another half hour and that's done. So there you go. Give this a go. Tell me what you think. I hope you've enjoyed it. But otherwise, take care and I'll see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.